Alright, here we go. Got another couple of games against Pranav, probably. Alright, I'm not gonna go into a Albin counter gambit, unfortunately, which is what I wanted to do. I'll just play my regular setup here. He is probably going to play h3. He does not play h3. Now I believe in this case I am wanting to capture the pawn, if I remember correctly. And I'm assuming he's going to recapture. Alright, let's get this knight out and attack his knight. After I move it here. Might also at some point play b5. Okay. He chooses to jump his knight into the center there. So let's suppose I take, and then he comes here, and I'd probably move my knight here. That seems fine to me. I could also continue with my plan here. And he might take, and then I would capture with my queen. And then his knight, I mean, his knight can't really, it can't really go anywhere dangerous, right? And I do like my queen on b6, because it prevents his bishop from developing. And if he takes here, and then I recapture, he comes here, I can just slide my rook over. And he's given up his knight for 2 pawns, and I'm happy with that trade, I think. Now where do I want to develop my bishop? I'm thinking either here or here. I'm not a huge fan of either square, honestly. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna take this knight, I think. And then, let's see here. I want to hit this pawn with my bishop. I don't have a great way of doing that yet. What if I came here, and I think he's going to come here, and maybe I played there? If he wants to keep his knight, it either has to go back or come here again. I might develop my bishop here, so that whenever I move my pawn up, I'm attacking him down here. And let's drop the knight back. Hit his knight, potentially try and win a pawn. After takes, takes, takes. I'm going to take with my queen, that way I'm pressuring this pawn, I think. I could also take with my bishop to try and set up this. Whoops. Set up this with my queen and bishop. I think I'm going to take with the queen though. Interesting. That's not the pawn push I was expecting. Let's suppose I take. I guess he's going to take with this pawn. What if I push and just have these two connected pawns? I'm going to push. I don't know if that's good, but it's interesting, so let's try it. Now he has to push both of these pawns in order to open up his bishop on my rook. And I'm perfectly okay sliding my rook over. No problems with that. His dark squared bishop also can't develop right now because he would drop the b2 pawn if he does try and develop it. Interesting. Okay. I think let's develop the bishop along this diagonal. I'm guessing he's going to play this and try and lock my bishop out. What if I then played this? He can push, and I'll just move my queen and then play this and free up my bishop, I suppose. What if I played this first? Then I guess he would come here, and then I could play this. Well, first I would take his bishop and then play that. And if he takes, then I would take his queen and then take the bishop, I suppose. And then after he recaptures the bishop, I guess I would recapture here. If I play here, he plays here. Then I would move my queen here, I guess, and then play there. I don't know, I feel like this pawn configuration shouldn't be good given that it makes his king so weak. But I don't know enough to know how to punish it. And also my time is very low, I didn't realize that. I'm already at 4 minutes, I gotta start playing faster. Otherwise I'm gonna lose this game on time, yeah. So we were expecting that move. Let's come here, blockading the pawns. And then I'm gonna come here in a second. Assuming he doesn't play that himself, he might, who knows? Now he's got to slide his rook over. I'm going to bring this rook over in order to attack the pawn. Because I've now got 3 attackers and he has only 2 defenders, the bishop and the queen. So I have takes, 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 and he can recapture and then I would recapture. I think I can take this now, and it's fine if we trade dark squared bishops as well. He doesn't have, after the trade of dark squared bishops, he doesn't have a check because my pawn covers this. And I can take his bishop too if I want, before taking this one. Alright, so now I'm just up a pawn. And he has this weak pawn here, which I'm going to endeavor to win. And I can double up my rooks and try and get into his file. Let's come here, double up. That way I continue to control the open file after the trade. Let's just play here and defend the pawn, I think. Alright, I'm going to move my king up here and attack his pawn. I think he's going to play his rook here, yeah, but I can just do this, right? And defend everything. Can try and trade rooks. Continue defending everything. Now I'm just going to win this pawn. Walk my king forward. I think playing e5 is decent. I'm not really sure. It maybe allows his king to get closer, so because I would give up the square when I recapture here. Maybe I need to move my king down, actually, in order to allow this pawn break. My endgame play is not good enough. Like, I have no idea if this move was correct. Well, if I play here, then he takes, and then I take, and his king moves in. And I guess mine moves up, and we trade off, and I try and push my pawns before he pushes his. I think this is fine. Let's try it. Yeah, I'm queening first. And with check. Let's be cheeky and just take that, and then take this. Make a queen. Good game. I had one blunder. Check that after the game. After the rematch, rather. Do I really want to play a fantasy Caro-Kann again? Let's play an exchange with knight f3. Let's go ahead and play this pawn up as well. That way it's not blocked in by my knight on c3. Suppose I take, then he recaptures, I recapture, he recaptures. There's nothing really interesting about that. Let's just unpin the knight, I think. Let's lock in his dark squared bishop. Also, queen b2, b3 looks good. Why does it say I'm disconnected? Am I actually disconnected? No. I guess he has knight a5 in this situation, but then I can give a check. Okay, well now I can develop my bishop with tempo, and then let's say he plays here, then I could take with the knight, and if he takes with the knight, I recapture with my bishop, and his rook is still hanging. I guess he could play, no, he can't play there. What am I talking about? Pranav and I are both having disconnection errors. Okay, interesting. I wasn't expecting that. So if I take here, then I guess his idea is that he takes here, and then I bring my bishop back and he brings his bishop back. And if I take, then he takes, and I'm losing 2 pieces for the knight, so I have to take this. I'm losing 2 pieces for the rook, rather, which is a good trade for him. That's a decent move. Except don't I have this check, yes? He can bring the knight back to block here, but then I take his rook. And, you know, that's not the most convincing position because I'm going to lose this pawn too. But it's interesting for sure. Do I have anything better than taking the rook? I don't think so. Let's just go ahead and take the rook. He has to recapture with the queen because his knight is still pinned. Now let's play here, actually. And I won't lose the pawn. And well, I guess I'm not threatening to go there because once I do that, his knight will be unpinned. So I just need to castle, and then I should be pretty happy with my position. I'll play a3 to consolidate everything, and then I'll be feeling pretty good. Play a3, get my queen back out of the way. Okay. So he's attacking my bishop. And he's not threatening to come here or here or here. So he's just attacking the bishop. Which really doesn't, if I want to keep it on the board, it doesn't have an amazing place to move. Only back here, which is kind of gross. And I definitely don't want to damage my pawn structure. So let's just drop it back here. And then I can play one of my rooks over here and try and kick his knight out, assuming he doesn't take. I imagine he's going to take, but I'm okay with that. I feel like at our level, having a bishop versus having a knight is not like, you know, the most amazing thing ever. Okay, so he's threatening to take here with checkmate. So I have to defend that. I can either play this or this. I think I like playing with the pawn more, even though normally that is more weakening. I just think if I play with the knight, then I'm susceptible to him like bringing his bishop in to attack the knight, or like trying to throw pawns here, and I don't want to deal with any of that shit. I want my knight to be able to move freely around the board also. Like, why would I pin myself to a checkmate threat if I don't have to? I also, since this knight is hanging, I now have b5, and he can't take this pawn. Is that good though? Like, let's say he does this. Like, I play this, he moves his knight back, and then I take this, and he takes. I don't know. Do I really get anything? Then I recapture. I can play here maybe. But this pawn is hanging. Let's play rook here first, and then I'll try and go for it. Just to, you know, have my rook already there. Seems nice. So my next move, assuming he doesn't move the knight away, is going to be b5, I think. Okay, well now my knight is hanging. Where is his queen trying to come? I'm not sure, honestly. Maybe I can't bring my knight here, that would blunder it. So I guess I'm bringing it here. And then where's his queen gonna go? After that. This square, perhaps? I feel like he's about to hit me with some tactic that I'm not prepared for. Like playing bishop here. If he does that, I'm not going to take it, I don't think. First I would play rook here and try and kick his queen away. My queen can come here, which looks nasty. Interesting. Is the point that he's trying to play here? I could try and kick his queen out with this move. But I imagine he just drops here and it doesn't accomplish much. Let's bring my queen here. Not sure what the idea of g6 was. Definitely feel like I'm missing something here. I guess he's just trying to win a pawn. Oh, well, also after... So if I do nothing and he takes, and then I take, and he takes, he's threatening mate again on this square, and I'm not sure how I respond to that. So let's hit his queen, I guess. It might not have been the right rook to use. Maybe I needed to keep a rook protecting this pawn. So my goal is to defend against his attack, take this pawn, and then promote this pawn. That's what I'm trying to do. Let's He wants to come here. Let's go here and attack bishop and defend this at the same time. His attack is very strong. It's pretty difficult to make sure I'm defending against it well. Unfortunately, I can't take the bishop because that would allow mate. I think if I had like a lot of time to really consolidate this position, I would just be totally winning, because I could, once I like fully defend everything, I can just take these pawns and push. But given the time situation, his attack is just too powerful. I'm not going to be able to win because I'm going to be too busy defending, which is a good strategy from Pranav. I mean, definitely you should do that. Maybe I should have played here. But then I feel like we just end up repeating moves. Like he just moves his queen back here, and then I just move my rook back here. All right, I'm going to take. I'm ignoring that and I'm pushing. I don't think it matters if he takes, I just recapture. I'm going to promote. Then it'll be check. His king will be on the run. He'll be down a rook. I'll just bring my queen back and defend everything, and we'll be fine. Maybe I play rook here. I like my rooks connected right now, though. I think he is struggling to see a way through right now, perhaps. This pawn push indicates to me that he doesn't really know how to continue with the attack. Because it didn't really do anything. Maybe he's going to try and go king here and then move the rook over. That would actually be a really strong move. And he does it. Doesn't that allow this, though? And then his rook comes over here. Let's go for it. Don't have enough time to fully calculate everything. The other rook protects the back rank. Yeah, okay, so now what? Let's say I move my queen. No, let's not say I move my queen here, because that blunders it. What if I just moved my king up, and then he took, and I took? And he takes this, but then I take this, and I feel like he doesn't have mate there. So let's try it. I could also maybe move this rook over here now. Because I really don't care about this pawn, and my queen is defending it. Oh, he has this knight check though. I thought about his queen taking it, but I didn't think about his knight taking it. I'm going to come here with my rook, because this threatens mate after his knight moves, depending on where he goes. Oh, interesting. If I come here, that forces a trade of the knight for the rook, which may actually be good in this scenario. If I come here, though, this threatens mate. And I don't think he has mate if I do this. He's got to come here. And then I could come here and trade queens. Perhaps. No, you can't come there. I would take that. So I have this check. Now what? Fuck my time. Let's just come here. Take that. Oh, that was so clutch, dude. Let's fucking go. God damn. That was too clutch. I was not sure that was mate, but I was like, I'm just promoting and getting the queen and giving the discovered check. I was like, this double check has to be good. I don't have time to think about it. We're just playing it. What a game. Really good game from Pranav. I definitely got a bit lucky there. I want to analyze that later. Ah, damn, I should have tried to go for the Alvin counter game again. Looks like he would have done it too because he played an immediate c5. All right, now we're just in the usual move order that I know. He played his knight to a different square. I'm gonna take. Okay, in this case, I believe I play bishop here. Or I believe I just push. That's what I do. All right, let's bring the knight here. If he takes, then I'll recapture this way, and I'm perfectly happy with this little pawn structure. I'll take and then play here, probably, and then try and get a pawn break going. In fact, I might play here anyways, even if he doesn't take. That's an interesting move, actually, because he wants to take, and if I take, he can recapture with his knight. So I think I'm going to take his knight. And then come here with my queen. And claim that this pawn is weak. That's what I'm arguing here. It's probably that queen move is probably unsound. I think taking the knight was good, but the queen move is probably not. Doesn't make any sense. But you know, we're just freestyling here. Let's fianchetto the bishop. And my knight, I'm going to try and bring here and attack this pawn. Maybe. I don't know. It's definitely going here. Where it goes after that, not 100% sure. Oh, well now I have the weak pawns because I overlooked that my queen would be hanging after this. That's fine though. I'm going to use this extra pawn to double his own pawns. Interesting. I'm assuming he wants to go get my dark squared bishop. There's nothing I can really do about that though, so I could move my rook here. That way when he plays bishop h6, I can play bishop h8 without losing my rook. I don't want to give up my dark squared bishop, given that it would make these squares really weak. And then his knight will come in and stuff. That doesn't look fun. Oh, interesting. Why did he play queen here and then queen there? I don't really get that. I'm gonna go with this idea. Try and split his pawns up. He has to take. If he pushes, I can take it in two different ways. I'd probably take with my bishop, I think. Interesting. I can drop the queen back here, or even here. Well, no, I need to defend the bishop, so it's either this square or this square. Probably D7 makes the most sense because I don't want to get my queen in the crosshairs of the bishop. Although that does allow him to take the pawn without dropping it. But then he could lose interesting. Okay, well I'm going to take this pawn. And I'm assuming he's going to retake here. Now I'm going to play knight here. And I'll give him back this pawn, but then take this one. Does that work? He takes here. I take this. If he takes here, then I can recapture. Well, first I have to take his bishop, I think, but then I can recapture. Take here, and then if he takes, then I take. And if he moves his knight away, then I move my bishop away. If he does that, I was just thinking about that. Luckily, this is fine because this is check. I could take the rook, but then he takes here. Oh wait, actually I can't take here because he recaptures with the bishop. And then I can't capture the rook. Damn, so I guess I did mess up. I could come here, but he captures that, and I don't really get anything extra out of that. I want to get a back rank mate situation going. Is that best to take the rook? If I take here, he takes, and then I'm just down a piece. Down a light squared bishop. If I take here, he takes, and he has 2 pieces for my extra rook, which is probably better for me than just being down the extra stuff. And I'm going to come here in order to threaten his rook with threatening it with check, possibly. I think this is fine, so if he takes my rook, I take his. And if he moves the rook off the back rank, like to protect it with the queen, then I still have check. And then I can move my rook. I could even take his knight, actually. I don't think taking the knight is good, actually, because he would take my queen, I would have to recapture, and then he would play here, and I would be down a piece. Okay. Let's play here and hit the queen, I guess. Get my rook out of danger. This queen's got to stay nearby the knight, right? When his queen moves, I could maybe force a rook trade. Do I want a rook trade? Probably not. I feel like 2 rooks is better for me. I'm not sure I can handle a rook versus the bishop and knight with just 1 rook. I feel like I need both rooks. I'm not good enough to... He's thinking a lot. Okay. What if I play here and he takes... Oh, I don't have a rook trade actually because his bishop covers. Good thing I didn't blunder that. I guess I'll just play here and double up. Or maybe I play here and hit the queen again. And where does the queen move? I don't know, let's come here. I think my main goal right now is just to win on time. The clock is a piece, as they say. So I just want to pressure him. And depending on where the queen moves, I could come here. And if he's like, oh, he blundered, then I take this rook with check, and then I take the knight back. Interesting. He's offering a queen trade. Let's go ahead and take it. I think that benefits me with the time situation. And then I can play here. And I'm expecting bishop back in order to be able to defend. In which case I take this pawn. Potentially I take the pawn. Does he have any knight moves after that? Like knight here, knight here. Either way, if his knight moves, I take the rook. Okay. I'm gonna take. And then play here. Maybe I should have played here. Not sure. I think I'm just going to try and push this pawn. It's going to be my strategy. Just move the rook up, I suppose. Maybe I should have dropped it back. That way I could have swung it around behind that pawn eventually. Not right away, of course, because that would blunder it, but, you know. Guess I'll start trying to push this pawn. And if his knight ends up taking it, then I can take here. Bro, would you kindly fuck off with this bishop attacking my rook? I'm gonna pin your bishop. Now you can't move it. How does it feel? Okay, now you can't move it. I don't want to just give him that pawn for free. I mean, it would be a trade, but still. I think I messed up. Alright, I just have to try and play for time. This is a draw. Yeah, it's just a draw. Good game. Good games, rather. That was an interesting one. I'm gonna review this one first because I'm interested in, like, I don't even know who was winning and which one of us lost the game at the end, or like blundered the win to a draw. Our accuracy wasn't great. All right, all book moves, that was correct. This was okay, but the best was, okay, the best was bishop there, yeah. That was best from Pranav, so this was not good. I should have played there. Interesting. That makes sense. Where does the knight have to go in this situation? Either has to take, and I have a nice pawn structure, or he has to go back here, I suppose. Computer wants him to go, oh, or there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and this was dumb. I thought it was dumb during the game, but I went for it anyways. So this is just bad because of, what was his best move? Interesting. So that was a blunder. He was supposed to play pawn forward. And that would have forced me to come here or here to maintain my defense of the bishop. And then he could have come here, or it would have forced me to take and damage my pawn structure, and he could have, I don't know what he would have done after that. He would have brought his knight in. Wow, it wants me to sack my queen. Just blunders left and right here. What was I supposed to do? Play bishop there. I guess to get it out of danger. So yeah, the knight taking was bad. I was supposed to play, interesting. So trading queens was good. Coming back there was good. Trading rooks was good. This was bad. I maybe should have given the check. No. Best is to just attack the knight. Interesting. And then what happens? Okay. So I was supposed to attack the knight from the other direction for some reason. I guess because this direction allowed him to do this. So this was best. I thought this was a mistake due to this, but this is actually a mistake. What the hell was I supposed to do? Oh, maybe I give this check and then I move the pawn up after, probably. Yeah. I should have seen that in the game. That wasn't that difficult. So this was bad just because of my strategy of trying to make Pranav time out. I should have played as close as possible. That way there's just more moves for him to think about before we time out. And interestingly, it says he's at plus 4.7 here, but that was a mistake. He's still at plus 4 in this position. And, oh yeah, that's bad. That makes sense. So that was the blunder that lost him the game. He needed to play just g4. And then my pass pawn isn't making it anywhere, but his has tons of prospects. It's interesting that it still says plus 0.15 here, even though white literally cannot win. All right, let's go back and let's check those other games. Oh, I don't have in my other browser. I have a shortcut to my past games. Getting to your past games, like, why do they make it so difficult? Yeah, we can start with this first one. So the best in this situation when his knight is there is actually just to bring the bishop out. Okay. That loses a piece. He missed capturing free. Oh, I was just hanging this pawn. That would have been absolutely tragic. Oh, I should have played here. Damn. You gotta see those. Interesting. What was the best? So it wants him to just sack the exchange. Yeah, I should have. Well, I don't really understand, because after I take the outpost, he can play that move anyways. Like, it wants me to play here, but then after his king moves, isn't he just going to play? Interesting. Interesting, that's not the best move. What was the best move here? Bringing the rook back. Wait, but didn't it want me to bring the rook down when... Okay, whatever. So this move was best in this position. So was that pawn break. Trading was best because it puts me into a winning king endgame. And that's actually best too. That's interesting. All right. Nothing really to take away from that one, I think. Let's check the second game. Wow. 64% accuracy. That's rough. This was a blunder. Did Pranav find? No, he didn't. Why was it a blunder? Show line. Because he takes and then captures that pawn. Oh, and I can't go capture this pawn because he has that. Damn. I didn't see that at all. Fortunately, Pranav didn't see it either. So he's slightly ahead here. This was a blunder. It wanted me to castle, maybe? No. It wanted me to develop a piece, but it also doesn't want me to drop this pawn. I mean, rook c1 still drops the pawn. Why does that not drop the pawn? Oh, because you play knight takes d5. Actually, it wants you to castle. But if you play knight takes d5, you get the pawn back. And either way he takes here, you can take it there. That makes sense. That was a missed win. Alright, let's see what Pranav had here. There must be something tactical here. Maybe his knight comes in here, hits my bishop. I have no idea. It also won't let me play anything. Oh, I can't play that because his knight is bent. Maybe just b5? I have no clue what. Let's retry one more time. Let's get a hint. Queen move. Okay. So let's give this check. And then it wants me to move my, I would have blocked though. Oh, okay, whatever. What was my best move here? Just to bring the knight back. That's weird. Allows him to double my pawns. That was a missed win. Interesting. Because if I take here, he takes here with check. And then I have to come move away. That's rough. What do you do against this? You just allow that. Damn. So at this point I'm slightly winning. That was a blunder. I should have played. Wants me to move away from an attack. Should have played here maybe? Or here to attack the bishop. That one's good. What's best? Bringing the knight back into the center. Okay. I guess that makes sense. That was a blunder. You missed an opportunity to win a tempo by threatening a high value piece. Maybe here? Actually, I think I like it with the other rook more. Here? Yeah. So Pranav is actually winning by quite a lot here. Even up to this point, but that was not correct. I mean, he's still completely winning. But was he actually supposed to take with the queen? Because now what? He's not threatening mate here because I take this. Interesting. What was the best to get to checkmate? This is mate in 2. Wait, why can't I play this first? Because he plays here. And what happens if he plays here? Now you have queen h3 mate. Whereas before his knight is covering that. Okay, that makes sense. G2, king G2 is best because I'm threatening rook E4 mate. That was pretty crazy. I had 1 second left. When I took the queen, I had 2.8 seconds left. Took me 1 second to decide I was pushing the pawn, and then from there I basically pre-moved everything. That was a crazy game.